Would you love to be a more confident speaker in front of groups of people? If that's a yes, then I hope my message is going to inspire you and embolden you to really step out, step up, speak up with the confidence and the clarity and the competence needed for other people to want to listen to you and to be positively influenced by whatever it is you have to say. And at the core of my experience as a speaker, and I've been speaking now for 15 years, starting out in extremely humble circumstances in front of two people when I was giving my very first talk, trying to build my coaching business many years ago, living in Coppell, Texas. And what I have learned since then is that the number one intention of every speech that you ever give, of every presentation you ever give, is not to impress people. And it's not to look good. And it's not to earn money, and it's not to get a pay rise or get the promotion. It needs to be to serve others, to elevate outcomes, to make things better for others and not just for yourself. So how do you do that? Well, how do you get ego out the way? Because here's the deal. When ego is sitting there, and our ego, we've all got an ego and we all like to look good. I like to look good too. I didn't put makeup on today for no reason. I feel good when I feel like I'm looking good. But when you are driven by looking good, by having other people be impressed by you, going, wow, isn't she amazing? Then that sets you up to be very caught up in the head and not be coming from the heart, the place from which we truly connect with other people at an emotional level, and that actually really disrupts their own head thinking and gets them to take action. Because we don't take action based on what we think. We take action based on how we feel. And too often, when we're speaking to people from our head, like, oh, what are the 10 things I want to say? What's the framework? How can I prove to them how smart I am, how good I am, how much they should, take up my services, engage me to coach them, consult, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. It actually keeps you from really delivering your message in a way that lands on them, so that they can receive it, so that they can act on it, and that they don't get pulled into your whole ego thing. And that doesn't, trigger their own defenses or their own pride and their own ego. So here's what you need to do. One, get really clear. What is the highest intention I'm trying to serve here? How is the things that I have to say, how can they be of use, of service, of benefit to other people? Two, what are the key things I want them to take away? What are the top 2-3 things I want them to take away from what I have to say? Perhaps even the one thing above all else. But keep it simple. Don't try and go, oh, here's the 23 things I want them to know, I want them to do. No, keep it really simple. What are the top 1, 2, or 3 things you want them to walk away with, so that when they say, what did she have to say, what did he have to say, they can sum it up very quickly. 3, use stories. Be very deliberate in inserting yourself into what it is you have to share. Share examples of how you've applied what it is you're talking about, or anecdotes of how other people have applied it or not applied it to their detriment. 4, be self-deprecating. Now, I don't mean talking yourself down, because I think we absolutely need to own our value, but also don't come in there as, hey, I'm fantastic, you need to do what I do because I'm a legend. Because when you put yourself out there like that, it so rubs people up the wrong way. Be real, be authentic, be humble. You can go be light with yourself. One of the things, people like about Australians is we generally don't take ourselves too seriously, because, if we do, very quickly people tell us where to go. So, as an Aussie, having grown up in the Aussie bush myself, I'm pretty good at being self-deprecating. There's lots of things I can find to be self-deprecating about. But be real. Don't be so full of your own brilliance, because you'd never win people over with your own brilliance. We connect with people so much more powerfully through our vulnerability than through our victories, and letting them know how brilliant we are. And so share your stories of failure. And finally, 5th, as you talk to people, just be mindful, be intuitive of what is it that's going on for them. You should already have gone out, thought about it before you've walked into a room about, what is the listening of these people? What are they coming? What are their concerns? What are their challenges? What keeps them up at night? What is it that they need to know or want to know or that would help them? But go beyond that. When you get in a room with other people, lean into your intuition. Feel from a place beyond what's being said to what is being felt in this room. Connect in with the emotional energy. And I know that can sound a bit woo-woo, but I know for me when I sometimes speak at very big events and sometimes I run workshops at smaller events, and so I kind of do things in all shapes and sizes. But whether it's 5,000 people in a room or it's 15 around a board table, you can pick up the energy and the emotions that are really dominating that space. And so sometimes you need to be willing to shift what you're going to say, to speak to that, to speak to the concerns that you feel people have that maybe aren't even spoken, maybe it weren't given to you in the briefing, and address those concerns as you say what you say, and be willing to shift what you have to say as a result. Don't be so attached to what it is you have to say that, no, this is exactly it, I rehearsed it, this is what's written down. Sometimes we have to be willing to kind of be flexible and agile as we go along, and that will make you a far more powerful and impactful communicator, and it will also allow you to have the presence and connect at that energetic level with people. So I hope this is helpful to you, but most of all, if you feel inspired to be a speaker, to take the podium, to take the microphone, to get up in front of others, just be careful that it's not your ego that's driving the show, but it is coming from that place of service and intention. And that doesn't mean you don't have an ego. It doesn't mean you don't want to impress people. We all want to. I hope that this has been helpful to you and that you are pleased by it. But put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, how can I have it so that when they walk out of this room, that they are better off than when they walked in? All right, take care. Be brave.